done it! They have gone back-to-back for the second year in a row!
What is
They
up,
have won the Stanley Cup!
everybody? My name's DG, and I am joined by my lovely, beautiful co-host, Milkman. And you're watching the 4th episode of Loose Pucks. Milkman, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, DG. Appreciate the shout out. Sports team's not doing as well this weekend. Lighting, turning it around. We'll definitely get into a lot of that. But my other sports teams, my football teams, which I love so dearly, just struggled.
As you hear Riley in the background, I love it.
Yeah, a little special guest right now. You gotta chill out. It's not playtime, right?
An atrocious sports weekend overall. Not for the Bolts. I had a lot of fun this weekend. I will admit that. I traveled up to Atlanta. I was able to go to the World Series game. Check that off my bucket list. Something that I think any sports fan should do. The atmosphere was electric. It honestly kind of pissed me off being in the Battery, like in Atlanta, like that strip of bars, because they really could create something like that here in Tampa. But I'm going to stay positive and say that it's going to happen because shout out JP Peterson. He had Ken Hagen on the show today, and the Rays might be getting some new funding to the Hard Rock.
You're saying there's a chance? Saying there's a chance?
Just a little bit. Shout out to the Hard Rock.
Wow.
And sports betting is legal in Florida now.
Yes.
Download
Hard
the
Rock
app.
Sportsbook app. Wow.
Download it. This is not an
Shout
ad.
out Florida. Shout out Seminole Tribe. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Sports betting. It's a roll. Let's go.
It's here. It's here. So let's
Sponsor the
kind
show.
of, before we jump into lightning talk, real quick, I just have to talk about your Florida Gators. I can't talk much. We lost to Clemson. Just give me real quick what happened, what needs to change before we hop in deep into this lightning talk. I just want the viewers to know that it's not so great to be a Florida Gator.
Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is I had a wedding on Saturday that I had to attend and did not really get to see much of the game. I got to see a lot of the first half, and the first half we weren't losing too much, and it was kind of a game. Then I stopped watching and I looked at the score, and it was just not a game whatsoever.
Let me just tell you this, Milkman. You didn't miss much.
No.
You really didn't miss much. It was a shit pumping and watching it in an Atlanta bar with all the Georgia fans. Let me just say this real quick. The Georgia fight song is stupid. It is stupid. Who's that coming down the tracks? It's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But it was cool to see Florida hate all around in that bar in Atlanta. So good job, Gators.
I mean, I agree with you on that point, but I mean, at least our fight song is not just noises.
Okay, listen. It is 2021.
At least they have words. Words are nice.
Listen, let me tell you this. It's 2021. You could get canceled for doing that, okay? We are honoring the Seminole
That's
tribe.
not a language. It's just not like it's just like a language. It's just a bad. It's just not. There's better.
Okay.
The chomp is better. That's clear.
You know what's better? The Lightning winning. Let's hop into that.
Let's get into it.
Before we talk about rainbows, we have to talk about the obvious. It has been announced that Nikita Kucherov is out 2 months. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing, I guess? Because, like, to me, I think it was way more positive news than I was expecting. I thought he was going to be out a lot longer. We still don't know, but to me, give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's good news. I think it's bad news. Whenever one of your best players is out 2+ months, it's never a positive.
It's not a positive. That's not what I'm saying. But
I know, but at the same time, it's not like a situation last year where we're just throwing him on LTIR. We're going to trade. We got 9.5 in salary now, and we can play. We don't have that. When the trade deadline comes around, he's going to be back on the team. He's on LTI right now, but we can't just use all that salary up because then he can't really come back on the team. So no, I don't think it's really a good thing. I really liked how our power play was getting back together. I loved our power play, obviously, in the playoffs last year. Thank God, Plot, they took him off that first unit. But I want to talk about Plot here in a few minutes, but
Oh, yes, we
I'll
will.
definitely talk about him. But the first unit power play is not the place for him. But yeah, it's one good news. I think someone's coming back, right? We got a defenseman, we got a blue liner, Cal Foot, the youngster.
We do, which is crazy to me because you know who gets scratched tonight? Like Ruda gets scratched for Cal Foot to play, and Schusterbud gets the nod over Ruda tonight. So
Wow. Yeah.
shout out to me for knowing my shit because obviously John Cooper thinks that Schuster's playing well. So I was right with I think it was 2 weeks ago. I said he was the one that really stood out and playing really good hockey.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be a Lightning assistant coach. John Cooper, give me a call.
Put it in your resume, bro.
I'm telling you, here on the Loose Pucks pod, we just talk shit, people get better. And this was not a Schuster podcast prior to the season. But he's changed my heart. He really has.
Yeah. Someone else that's changed hearts on this podcast is Andre Plot himself.
Ooh, let's get into that. I think you have an apology. A public.
I do.
Apology.
I definitely have a public apology here because I haven't liked, and not that I haven't liked him. That's hard. That's very harsh to say. I like all of the Bolts players. I just think that on the first line, he is the one who tends to mess up the most, obviously. He doesn't capitalize as many chances as he can. And it's just frustrating sometimes. I know that he's good defensively, but just offensively, it hurts to see what he does sometimes. And that's just nicely being put out there. And even in the beginning of the year, he struggled. And I said when Kucherov went down, he needed to step up. If he was going to be a top 6 guy, he needed to step up because what he was doing was not cutting it. And let me tell you,
boy, were
DG,
you wrong.
He stepped up.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just the loose pucks curse. It is.
Is it a curse or is it a blessing? Is it a curse or a blessing?
It's the loose pucks blessing. We talk shit and they step up. Are they listening?
Yeah.
I think they're listening. They have to be listeners of the podcast because they're probably like,
gotta be listeners.
Those idiots on that podcast, I'm gonna show them. I'm going to show those idiots. And they do it. It's literally, the proof is in the pudding. Just like the lucky couch, you got to trust the numbers. Trust the numbers about when we talk shit about players. We do it because we love you. It's like your parent, disciplining you, giving you a little spanking. They do it because they love you. And guess what? You come back a better person. So that's what we do here on the Loose Pucks podcast. We talk shit and they get better. So I think that was a very, very good public apology. You want to say it one more time? You want to look into the camera and tell them that you're sorry?
Sorry, Plot. Keep it up, and you will not be hearing that out of my mouth again.
This is huge for Milkman. You don't understand.
It's not just like this year I've been frustrated. They don't
understand the history that you have
there's history.
And I've fought you to this every time that you bring it up. And this is music to my ears to hear you say this.
Yeah.
Might I also, before we recap some of these games, check out this, right? So shout out to Kyle. All right, so a little backstory this weekend when we watched the Bucks literally shoot themselves in the foot, and the refs have the ref show on Sunday. The Bucks obviously lost. We were at a watch party. Shout out to the Loose Cannons. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. I'm sitting there chilling at the brewery. Kyle comes up. I've met Kyle a couple times, and he comes up to me. Dev, what's up, man? Check this out. And he made these for us, Milkman. I know you couldn't come, but he said, this one's for you, and this one's for Milkman. It made me tear up. We are on episode 4, and we have fans making us chains. You guys are awesome.
Amazing.
I love you guys. Thank you. Got a lot of, I will tell you this, and I haven't even told you, Got a lot of positive. There was probably 2 or 3 people that were at the Loose Cannons watch party and had good things to say about it. So at least we're not pieces of shit yet. So just keep watching it. I'm sure me or Milkman will piss you off, and you might not like it. But shout out to you.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So
No,
let's
but
recap.
definitely appreciate all you guys. Yep.
Yes, sir. So let's recap some of the games. Beat by Buffalo, handled Pittsburgh and Arizona, and we just beat the Caps tonight. So let's start off with Buffalo. And I have something I want to say.
Tell me.
I saw everybody overreacting. And sometimes in hockey, the goaltender is just on one. And whoever that fucker, Anderson, so whatever the fuck, you're a goaltender for Buffalo, okay? Not very good. This dude played the game of his life. I don't think, I know the score sheets, shows that we lost by a lot. And we have Brian Elliott in goal, the gray hair effect, which is also coming out to be true. Goalies with gray hair shouldn't be goalies.
Nope.
Did not have a good game. But this Anderson dude, good God, this guy was saving everything. We had so many good chances. I thought we actually played really well. And sometimes in hockey, games just happen like that. We definitely deserve to win that one. But you get a few unlucky breaks, unlucky rebounds that go in, and you get an ugly score stat like that. So what were your thoughts on the Buffalo game?
To give Anderson some credit, it's not like he's a terrible goalie. I mean, he's a starter. He started in Toronto for a little bit, and he's a good goalie. He's not the best. He's definitely not no Vasi.
Starting goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres.
He's not a great goalie. He's not even necessarily good. He's average at best, but
we made him look like an all-star.
We did.
He looked like an all-star against us.
Yeah, it was bad. Elliott, early in that game, he gave up that rebound just right to the slot and empty netter, essentially. Just buried it. Didn't recover since we had an ugly goal in there. I think it was Killorn. Maybe Sergachev tried to throw it in there and Killorn tipped it in or something like that. It wasn't ugly. It was just an ugly game. There was really nothing pretty about it. Overreacting or just kind of reacting in the moment, I wasn't happy about it. I was definitely pretty pissed going to sleep that night. So
I was mad, but I really wasn't. If you look at the game as a whole, we really outplayed them. And like I said, there are just going to be nights like that in hockey that happen. Brush it off and move on. And that's exactly what they do. They did. They moved right on to Pittsburgh.
Less than 24 hours.
Pissed off. Literally jumped on a flight that night. Flew to Pittsburgh. It's not that far of a flight, but jumped on a flight. Hopped down in Pittsburgh. And played some damn good hockey. And I was very proud of the way that they responded. I think they came out pissed off. I think they came out with a vengeance. They were embarrassed, opening night. And this is a game that we said last week you have to win. No Malkin, no Crosby, and who else was out? I almost said Kuznetsov. Letang. Yes, Letang was out. You got to win that game. And that's exactly what they did. Proud of the boys. Picked up 2 points. Your thoughts?
You know who absolutely looked pissed in that game? Vasi.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was not letting goals in. And I was kind of pissed that he gave up that he didn't even give up that goal at the end. That was really shitty by Killorn. He just really did not do well taking it out of the zone and ended up being a turnover. But he deserved that shutout. He played fantastic. Braden Point, I can't wait to get a Braden Point jersey just because the guy, he's unbelievable. He had that backhander in the first period, remember, in that game. I think it was in the first period, but got him that 1-0 lead, and it was the first time in the year we had a 1-0 lead. The first time in the year we were leading to start the game. So that was just to rejoice in itself. And they didn't let go. Vasi looked great. We weren't letting go. It's a joke. Yeah, I mean, we're literally in November now talking about it. Granted, it was in October, the game, but that's bad.
Oh, my God. great win in Pittsburgh. Loved the way that we played. Then we had a little bit of time off. We played Arizona Thursday, and
It's expected win.
Expected. These guys stink. Arizona stinks.
Yeah.
They are a bad hockey team, and it was practice for us, and I think we needed it. Schuster Bud scores a goal against Arizona.
Fun fact, when is the last time he had a goal? Take a gander.
2016, 2017.
2017, bro.
Good God. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's bad. Hey, props to him. Old Schusterbot. He's getting the start over Jan Ruda.
He is. So he is playing well, but that's how you
he
know.
Showed out that game.
Yeah, that's how you know things are really rolling your way. When Schusterbud gets you a goal.
Yeah.
And guess who else got us a goal?
Killorn was looking like an Art Ross player in that game. He got us up 2-0 by himself pretty much.
They almost had a hat trick in the first period.
Yeah.
I was watching the game, watching it, see him score, look back, he's like almost scored again. I'm like, this dude is on fire. But that's not who I was thinking about. Who else scored a goal?
Your boy.
My boy. My sweet
power
prince. Play. On the power play.
Yeah.
The power play. We forgot how to score on the power play.
It felt like
But Alexander Barre-Boulet, if you've watched since day one, I've been telling y'all, I like this kid. He's good. He scored a goal. So, great game. And that's another thing where, to me, you got to take advantage of those games to work on the power play. And it's come to fruition because now we beat the Capitals and we did score a power play goal on a 5-on-3. We talked about it last week with Zach Blobner that he doesn't care if the crunch is out there.
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter. You got to score. And guess what we did tonight? We scored.
Capitalized.
Loved it.
It is so... I'm willing to go off on a limb and say it is more deflating to not score on a long 5-on-3 than it is like uplifting to score on a 5-on-3.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. It's going to take some other people a little bit to process
that. Yeah, but if that makes sense, there's just the magnitude of it. That's you have to score. You have to score on a long 5-on-3.
So I think honestly my biggest takeaway just from this past week since we've recorded is just the shuffling around and just the patience, of this coaching staff to keep finding ways to score. And I think it's going to continue the shuffling around of the power play just to get through until Cooch is back. But I've been pleased with what they've done. Now you're seeing, I saw Steven Stamkos on the first power or penalty kill unit. Like, here's a guy that we're shitting on. Oh, he's a one-dimensional player, and now he's on the first penalty kill with Belmar. Like, this guy's really trying to shut me the fuck up and fall in love again.
Yeah, they like him taking the every once in a while he'll go out there and try and take a face off if it's really important to win it. But hopefully he doesn't get stuck out there because we don't want him on defense too much.
But the fact I can't tell you the last time that I've seen him. I can't believe that even saw him out there.
It's been a couple of years.
I can't remember the last time that he was out there to do that. Is my point. So like now with these voids on the team, he's stepping up and playing a role. So shout out to Stammer for just adapting, being the pro that he is, and filling in when you need to. We don't have those guys. Mm-hmm. We're gonna shift away from talking about that because it's a new season. But he's really, really impressing me. So, to me, let me ask you this question: who stepped up to turn the team around in this past week? Because now We're on a 3-game win streak. So
Yeah.
who would you credit this to? And you better not take mine. I haven't told you mine, but if you take it, I'm gonna scream. Go. Don't overthink it. Just say the first person that you're gonna say.
So, well, the first thing I was actually going to say was almost a move that was made. And it was an adaptation to not having the first line anymore with Kucherov being gone and removing Palat from the first line and then putting Point, Killorn, and Cirelli on that first line. And I think on that first line, Killorn might be one of the biggest guys that stepped up. Sorry if I stole it from you, but he has actually stepped up. He had the ugly goal in Buffalo. He looked like a monster in Arizona. I'm pretty sure he just scored here tonight in Washington as well. He had that backhander, lifted it right over the pad. I've also been a Killorn hater. Killorn and Palat were the two guys.
About to say that.
Those are the two guys that I have been a hater on for years, for a very, very long time. You have not
publicly said this on Loose Pucks. You hated Killorn. 2 years ago, you hated Killorn. Say it.
Yes, I did. And I just thought I was so frustrated because I thought he was overpaid and I thought he was so slow on the ice. He just made turnovers. I was just so frustrated with him. But he has shut me the fuck up this week. That absolutely is for sure. So, yeah, I'm willing to put myself on the pedestal and say that he is definitely the guy who's stepped up.
Last time I checked, he's leading our team in goals right now.
Yeah, and tonight definitely helped him out. I think he was leading I think he had 6 going into the game. It might be 7 now. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like that was my I've said it in my Shoot the Puck segment, like who's the one that's going to be stepping up. I was really talking to the younger guys, but we'll take it how we get it. Killorn stepping up, being that goal scorer, and since you took mine, I'll continue to say Braden Point had another goal tonight too. He's, like we said last week, he's stepping it up. He's starting to tuck them, starting to get some better puck luck. So even though I wanted to go Killorn, I'll go Palat. Or even though I wanted to go Killorn, I'll go Point.
I like it. I mean, Point, he's always a stud. I think he's our best player, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. Now the next question is, who needs to step it up? I'll go first so you have no opportunity to steal it.
That's fair.
I'm going to continue. Every week, talk shit and just say, step it the fuck up. Taylor Radish, where are you at?
Where are you?
Where are you at? Where are you at? Please. I've read about you. We've been excited to see you.
I want to notice you.
I want to notice you. I want to talk good about you. Please, for the love of God, please step it up. Please. Milkman.
Mine's a little double-edged because I think he has stepped up into a big role into our team, but it's not producing on the stat sheet, and that's Corey Perry. We saw he had the A tonight. He's been voted on the team to have the assistant captain, which is obviously huge. He just came in this year. He wasn't even part of the team for the back-to-back Cup years. He was literally against us in the back-to-back Cup years, and the team has voted for him to be an assistant captain. At the same time, he's almost had more chances than anybody else on the team, and he doesn't have a single point yet this year, as a historic goal. So who I think needs to step up on the ice itself, Corey Perry, but in the locker room, it sounds like he's doing a phenomenal job. And I am definitely a fan of Corey Perry this year. So I'm not hating on Corey Perry. I'm not downing on Corey Perry. And that's why I said it was double-edged, because I'm actually really proud of how well and how organic he's stepped into this locker room and taken a leadership role under himself, kind of like McDonough did a few years ago. But at the same time, if you're playing every night, you got to produce.
And he's frustrated, man. And I'm not gonna jump on him. And I know you're not really jumping on him either, but it'll come. And I'm sure the same thing with Radish. It'll come too. But let's start turning it around. Let's do it. I'm not really concerned about Perry. He's proven that he's done it. I am just a little concerned with Radish. When is that?
What do you think about Corey Perry getting the A? Did that surprise you?
It really did. It did surprise me. Who did they strip it from? Did they strip it from Killorn? They had to strip it from somebody.
Yeah, Killorn definitely wasn't wearing it.
So
McDonough, I think he was still. I think Hedman was still.
because
And
last year
Stammer had
Killorn
the C.
was the A.
Killorn was wearing an A. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they must have stripped it from Killer, and then gave him.
Maybe, I don't even know if it was. We're not obviously not in the locker room, but maybe it was just like a passing of the torch. I don't think it's anything that Killorn's done, but I think it's just like a respect thing of just how maybe Corey Perry goes about the day in day out. So this is a guy that
I can see it.
To me, it is surprising, especially for a team that has that whole core. We've had the core here, and within the first 4 weeks of the season, you're voted captain. Yeah, that's surprising. That's awesome though, and it's a good move, and that's why I said in the first episode that we love Corey Perry now because he's on the team and he's showing it. So definitely
Not a guy you want to play against.
Definitely take all my words back. I never meant him. I just said it because I wanted you here, and it worked, right? So
Dreams come true on the Loose Cannons podcast. Loose Pucks. Too.
Yeah, come on. You're on the podcast. You can't even get your own.
Just the Loose Cannons Media Corporation. All of the dreams come true.
Absolutely, that is true. That is true. We don't have any voicemails today, so we need you out there to call in 813-922-8846. 813-922-8846. One more time, 813-922-8846. If you are watching this podcast, call in. Give us some more shit to talk about. All right? We'll also drop it in.
Shoot the Puck segment. Give us something. Give us topics. Give us anything you want.
Anything. If you want to call in and say hi.
We love highs.
Just come in and say hi. We'll talk to you, man. So I'll drop that also in the description below. 813-922-8846. All right. Quicker show tonight, so we're almost at the end. Shoot the puck segment. Here we go. Give it to me.
I'm going to say my Shoot the Puck segment would be kind of wrapping up the month of October. It was a roller coaster. It was one that started, I would say it's like a roller coaster, where it started down terribly. I mean, banner night, beautiful 10 minutes, and then pummeled straight down. We did not look like the Lightning for the first few games of the year. Vasi didn't even really look like himself. We just looked like we were in slow motion. Understandable. We might have still been hungover. They look great now. The last few games, Vasi has definitely looked like himself. The Lightning have that grit again. I'm excited to see, like you've brought up, that fourth line, Radish, Kachuk, ABB, all of them develop into being every night players. I'm excited to see Corey Perry to start producing his points as well. I think that the team is almost starting to be a little underrated of how slow they started, which is a good thing. I don't necessarily want to have that bullseye on our back the entire year. But when you're the back-to-back champs, it's going to happen. So we're still going to have the bullseye. I hope we keep going. I don't want to peak too early. And most of all, I hope that we stay healthy.
Well, according to the Carolina Hurricanes, they're the best team in hockey. So
No. According to the Carolina Hurricanes, they've already won the Cup this year.
With zero hardware to prove it. Just because you start off a season hot and you're undefeated, you're the best team in hockey. So
they even got to 10 wins. We've had multiple 10-win streaks in the same year. Calm down, Carolina.
This is ridiculous. My Shoot the Puck segment is going to be on. I know I haven't brought it up much, but I'm watching. I love what I'm seeing from Matthew Joseph with this elevated role. I think he is really stepping into his own, getting a lot more comfortable on the ice, flying around, more creativity. He's starting to get that, like, I don't know, he must have been training with Point or something, but he does that little spin move that Point does real quick. I know a lot of hockey players do it, but Point does it the fucking best. And I'm starting to see Matthew Joseph really come into his own. Now, I want to see him take a little bit more of a step, start getting on the stat sheet. But as far as hustle, decision-making, all of that, that was one point that that Connor brought up a couple weeks ago when he was on, the decision making and the creativity. I'm starting to see some of it come alive in this elevated role, and I'm happy to see it. He's light skinned. Light skinned stayed together. All right, so keep it up, Matthew Joseph. Keep chugging along, and you'll get on the stat sheet. But I really like, honestly, what I see from Matthew Joseph. And my address to the team, I'm glad you guys woke up. I'm glad you're woken up. 3 in a row. We got the Leafs on Thursday, Senators on Saturday. We'll talk about that soon. Keep it up. Keep your pedal to the metal. Let's get through this time without Cooch. But I'm glad you guys are woken up. The Bolts are creeping back before our eyes and starting to come alive. Bam.
I love it.
So let's preview this week's games. Obviously, we're recording this Monday night, so we played the Capitals tonight and won. Leafs on Thursday, 4-4-1. The choke artists themselves. Is this a win or a loss?
I think it's a win. Bolts are playing well right now. I predicted losses for, I think, most of the games last week. I'm pretty sure I predicted a loss from Pittsburgh and Washington, and we won both those games. And I predicted a win from Buffalo and Arizona, and we only won one of those games. So my prediction haven't been on point so far this year, but I do think the Leafs are going to be a win, and I think the Senators both win. I think we're going to sweep it in Canada.
I want to disagree with you, but I do agree with you. The Leafs, man, they're weird, man. They're so weird. I saw a stat where 5 players on their team make more than like all of the forwards combined on the Lightning. Like that is an insane. Like they're so talented, but at the same time, like they cannot get out of their own way. So I don't know. They do play well in the regular season. I wouldn't be surprised or pissed if we lost to them, but my prediction, I think we will win that game. Senators not playing atrocious hockey. They're 3-4. No overtime losses, but they're not playing terrible. So I think that's a game that it's at Ottawa. So we're obviously on a little road trip here, but I think we pick up 4 points the rest of the week. So let's keep it up, boys.
I agree.
We're really, really turning around, and this is a much calmer podcast this week than it was last week. We were all concerned, and now I'm, chilled out. I think we'll be just fine. I wasn't too worried, but it was just that little bit. But now they're starting to rebuild that confidence, and they knew that they weren't playing their best hockey. So.
And I wasn't worried just because of the score. I was worried of how the team looked. And they just looked like a different team. And that was worrisome. But they don't look like that anymore. So I'm excited. Have to keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, boys. That's going to do it. Brief episode. It's late tonight. We got jobs. We got to work in the morning. Love you guys. Call in 813-922-8846. You have watched The Loose Pucks. Deuces.